Hi, well, it's been a little while, but with everything that's been going on, I needed to get out and get my garden planted so I can get food without shopping, which is the nirvana of the moment, is it not? Anyway, here we go. Now, it's been such a long time since I got as far as Cancer. We're in a new month, we're in April 2020, so I'm going to kind of just start again from scratch. And I'm starting with the fire signs, okay? This is a 3-card tarot spread for all of the fire signs in this video. So let's have a shuffle. I'm with the Starman Tarot, which I've been learning to use all this time that I haven't been making videos. So I hope I've learned something, and I hope you guys will learn something too. Sure you will. So first card out for the fire signs, that is Leo, Sagittarius and Aries, so I'm including myself in that. And it's the Death card. Wow, now isn't that a thing of the moment? Of course, this card doesn't mean anybody's going to die, and neither does the situation that we're in at the moment, fire signs. It's a fact. But things are certainly changing, aren't they? We're seeing pretty much, I think we're going to see the end of cash money. That's something that pretty much all the spiritual people were predicting for 2020, and it was shown out in astrology as well in quite a big way that we'd be coming to the end of cash money. At the time, I couldn't see it actually happening in 2020 because I couldn't see where it was going to come from and what was going to cause it, because the powers that be still seem to like having cash. But now, obviously, you know, it's something that can lead to contamination and all of that. So cards are being used more and more, and I'm going to be using this kind of card more and more. That's my kind of rebirth, really, to get much more deeply into this at a deeper level and to actually go beyond the textbook meanings. Because if you're watching tarot videos, guys, I guess you know all about the textbook meanings. So here we are. I'm going to take a closer look at this one. I had to change the way I do this because they weren't appearing very clearly, these very detailed images in this deck. So I'm doing it this way so I can hold them up for you, but right now I'm just taking a closer look. And this amazing flower here, right, it looks to me like an orchid. I'm talking about this one right here. Looks to me a lot like an orchid. We do actually have orchids growing around here. I'm very lucky to be able to go and look at the real deal quite often. But this orchid on the card is the real deal for you, fire signs, okay? And this is the way to get through this deadly time, this deadly phase, because the orchid is essentially a shapeshifter. It's a flower which can mimic an animal, can mimic an insect or a creature, and it will draw insects closer to it, and that's how it operates, that's how it lives, that's how it survives. So in this time of everyone kind of thinking, what can we do to survive? Be prepared to shapeshift a bit, fire signs. I'm thinking particularly of Leo on this one. I don't know why, because we've got Leo, Sagittarius and Aries in the fire signs here. And if we actually get a wand card, then that will be very, very pertinent to all of those signs. But this is major arcana. It's close to the heart, it's close to the truth, and it's the first card I've pulled since this big kind of craziness all started in the world. Now then, also looking at this card, there's a lot of dripping colours coming down there. There's a lot of light in the card, and there's some very beautiful colours, but there's some kind of scary colours as well. And this looks to me like a bit of a bloodbath has happened. And again, it's not a real physical, actual bloodbath, no more than the death card means anyone's going to die, which it doesn't. It is simply, you know, it's a very difficult process that we're all going through at the moment. People are really kind of being torn one way or another. It's so difficult to know what to do, and it's so difficult to know what to say to people as well. But all we can do is keep going, so we will come through this. This will happen. And, you know, I wouldn't be at all surprised if everybody watching this video survives it. It's only a percentage of people who sadly are going to lose their lives, and that is a terrible thing. But we've got to keep it in perspective. The chances are just about all of us will live through this. That's a fact of life, looking at previous pandemics, looking at all kinds of things that have gone on in the world. Okay, so that's the first card out. It's number 13, it's the death card. And with that idea of 13, you know, 13 is seen as a very unlucky number, but actually they always say it's lucky for some. And I decided at a young age that it was going to be lucky for me, so I'm glad I've pulled that out. I am a Sagittarius, actually, so I'm a fire sign, so it kind of goes along with me, really. But that is so crucial, okay? You could see things as positive and negative. Always look on the positive side. That is a really important thing to do. People who are happier, if you just cut your finger or something, you'll get over it quicker if you're happy, if you're positive. So keep on looking for the positives. Okay, fire signs. So what's card number 2 in this 3-card spread for you guys? Come here. It's not an easy deck to... It's very slippery. It's not an easy deck to get used to. And I'm still getting used to it. 2 of Cups. Here we go. Now, this is water sign energy, guys. So this is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Those people around you, or those influences in your chart. Or maybe both strands, actually. Maybe both things could have happened. And what I can see in this card is the writings on the wall. Now, the 2 of Cups is a very positive card, really. It's often associated with people finding new relationships. Now then, here's the thing. In doing readings over the last few weeks, and I do private readings, by the way, 35and83@gmail.com. That's 35and83@gmail.com if you would like me to do a tarot reading for you. There's a very small fee. I've got to live, haven't we all? And I'm keeping the fee down at the moment. Got a special rate on because just, so many people are stuck at home and are not earning money the way we all like to. Okay, anyway, that's my little plug. There we go. The 2 of Cups here. It's showing a lot of positivity, though, because the writing is on the wall, and it's kind of a scary situation out in the world, because the writing really is on the wall. But look at what we can see through the wall. Absolute pure magic. And that is what we've really got to look for with the writing on the wall, because it's only one kind of situation that we're in at the moment, and we are all going to be moving forward from it, and we are all going to be having a lot more success and opportunities for even greater success in our lives. Now, I can see a serpent-like form swirling around here. It reminds me a bit of the caduceus, so there is certainly some spiritual love pouring in at this time. And there is at all times. That is a fact, fire signs. The spiritual love is always pouring in. And what we've really got to do is smash through the wall, okay? Now, this, in terms of relationships, is particularly aimed, I feel, as I'm doing this, and I'm always working with my spirit guides when I read, this is particularly aimed at people who feel that either they've got a problem with relationships, either a relationship they're in, or with relationships in general, or maybe they feel that there is actually a problem with having a relationship at all. A lot of people kind of feel that they're trapped in a loveless life with no kind of love coming their way or anything. In any case, what we've got to do is smash through the wall. We all put walls up around ourselves. Sometimes we don't mean to. Sometimes it's something we've learned in childhood or think we've learned all about, and actually we haven't, because when we've got a negative perception of something, there is always the positive on the plate somewhere. There is always something positive to tap into and good energy out there. So take the brilliant bright blue colours of this card to heart, my friends. Okay, there's a lot of other colours in it as well, but I'm looking at the brilliant bright blue there. Blue is always some kind of spiritual connection going on. When it's light blue like that, it makes me think of the crystal celestite, which is all about the connection to the angels, which we all have. So might as well use that, fire signs. Okay, so important. Now, this is a very, very fiery looking card. Actually, this whole deck is, so it's very fitting for fire signs. Look at this character who's sitting down on the ground here. Looks like he's got his hands up to manifest, to make things happen. And that's what we've got to do. And with the 2 of Cups, we actually can. The cups are all about our longings, our desires, all the things we really, really kind of want to have in life. And particularly poignant when it's talking about something we feel we can't have. You can have it, fire signs. We can all have it if we're willing to break that wall down, if we're willing to go forward in faith and truth and actually live our own truth. There's a lot of turquoise in the bricks in this wall. So not only have we got to kind of speak our truth, but we've also got to break through our perception of what truth is and start talking about that. because behind it, it kind of looks dark, but it's full of beautiful, radiant images behind there. Very difficult to make out. Let me take a closer look. I don't think they're meant to be easy to read, these cards, you know, but that's the whole point, because a deck like this, which is the Starman Tarot, by the way, by David De Angelis, and it's based on a lot of the artwork he did for David Bowie. It's all directing us in a very, very positive way, and the colours of light can be bright and need to be bright, and we should never forget that. We should always be looking on the brighter side of things, generally speaking. Okay, so it's time for card number 3 for the fire signs in this reading, which I am doing in April 2020. But the best time to watch it is right now, sometime in the future maybe, if there is one. I'm sure there will be one, actually. So if you're watching in the future and you're drawn to this, then this is for you right now. That's how the universe works. That's how our spirit guides all kind of join together and pull us together and make things happen. So I'm having a shuffle saying, let's have a third card for the fire signs in this April 2020 reading. And what have we got? Ah, right, we're back with the Major Arcana again. So 2 out of 3 here, Major Arcana. And this essentially is the Fool. It's called the Sacred Clown. Can you see that on the screen there? It's the Sacred Clown. And this is the whole thing about the Fool's journey. It's a new start. Now, that is really what always is going to come after death. Of course, the death card is number 13 and this is number 0, but it really means everything's on the table, you know. Progress has not yet been made on this journey, but this journey most certainly has started, and we can see the fiery ball of the sun there throwing out sunspots, really throwing sunspots out from its corona. And there's a word, but I mean it in terms of what happens on the sun. Now, we are actually at the moment at a time of solar minimum. There are very, very few sunspots occurring, but the sun is always active, the sun is always crackling. And in astrology, the sun has everything to do with the way we govern ourselves and others, the way we actually conduct our lives, the kind of rule book that we all live by, maybe and hopefully actually rules that we've come up with for ourselves, because the last thing we want to do is just kind of blindly follow other people's rules for no reason. This is saying be yourselves, fire signs, and it is a super fiery card here. Let me take a closer look in case I'm missing stuff. Right. Being held up above the Fool here by these sort of cloth hands that are part of the hat that the Fool is wearing, there is a great white heart there, and there are horns coming out of it. So you might have to be a little bit naughty to get things happening, but it's white, you know, it's positive. It's actually a very healing colour in so many ways, white, not least because it contains all the colours of the spectrum. They're all involved with it. So pure white light there, and it's at crown chakra level. So do have that crown chakra open, fire signs. Do be looking onwards and upwards all the time, okay? Because this is a mystical journey that's starting here. It's beginning to feel as if the world has absolutely had it, actually. And I'm sure it hasn't. But the world and the way the world is run in its present form has had it. We've now got to be our own rulers. We've got to, you know, really live and work and operate, generally speaking, by what we've learned, what has actually made up our own rule book of life. So, you know, what are your personal rules, fire signs? You know, everyone is slightly different. In fact, a lot of people are radically different, and that's no bad thing. There is actually room for all of us, spiritually speaking, and it's time to come forward. It's time to come out of the darkness. That journey has started, hasn't gone anywhere yet, but as we go forward, things are going to improve. They really are. Now, that is a big thing to say at the moment when everyone's so concerned, but things can only get better, fire signs. Think about it. Things really can only get better. So that is 0, the Sacred Clown. Let me just pop the deck down and we will have a recap. Okay, we started with number 13, the Death card there. And, you know, it's a time for moving forward. It's a time for moving on, because basically the only way is up, and the only way actually is forward. This shows that whatever we were going forward with before has been cut off, and we need to actually go forward in new ways. And we will actually have the inspiration for that. Even if you feel, fire signs, that you don't have any inspiration in your mind for this, be aware that, you know, everything you need, all the tools you need psychologically and in the real world will be in place when the Death card comes up, because it is time to go forward, and the universe does not throw stuff at us until we are ready and prepared to actually get on with it. We often don't feel prepared. That's the nature of the game. And in the Two of Cups here, we're looking at longings, desires, wanting kind of maybe more than we ever feel we can have. But the message is we can have it. Just got to break through that wall, because card number 3, the Sacred Clown, the journey is actually underway. Things can only get better. Things will only get better. On that note, thanks very much for watching. A thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed this one. And don't forget to as well as hitting the like, hit the subscribe button. Okay, check out my channel. There are loads and loads, hundreds, about 600-700 videos at the moment. Most of them are readings of one kind or another. It's all astrologically based. It's all got something to do with my spirit guides as well. I'm a medium. That's the way I work. If you'd like a reading, an astrology reading, a card reading, or just pure mediumship, I'll get the crystal ball and I'll link into the afterlife, see what my spirit guide has got to say, see if I can link you to people of your own in the afterlife who may want to communicate with you. That's my speciality. So subscribe to the channel, tap the bell to receive all notifications. That's the way to go. Keep safe, wash your hands, have loads of fun, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.